We are first episode recording at Women in Automotive. And you know who I had to snag? I had to snag one of our keynotes, aka the Robs. Hi.
The Robs, yes.
The Robs. So your keynote is happening on the last day. And everybody's already talking about it, and they're staying late and not flying out so that they can be a part of it. And the title of it, I think, is probably what's the biggest part. So it's from cult member to CEO.
Yeah.
What are the main points of that?
I think really, like, if you were looking at it holistically and go, the overview, what is it? And it really is to not stay in whatever your victim mentality is. That whatever your story started out to be in life, it doesn't mean that that's your story for the rest of your life. That you own the pen, you get to write your story, and even when you rewrite it at 30, you can rewrite it at 40, you can rewrite it at 50, and you can rewrite it at 60, that the pen doesn't ever run out of ink. So no matter where you started, whether you grew up in, you know, an abusive household or in poverty, or if you grew up, you know, something traumatic happened to you at that point and you want to just hang on to, keep going back to that point in your life, that's a thing that happened to you. It's not who you are. And so how do you get out and get on the other side of that?
And that's big. And a lot of people, I mean, I've heard that story so many times of something happening to them or them getting stuck in something and they let it take over their life. I mean, I have someone very close in my life who does that all the time of, you know, staying in their what happened to them as a child or something along those lines where they just use that for the rest of their life instead of reinventing themselves or letting that be their driving force to moving forward.
I mean, it could be part of your story. It's obviously part of your story. So what got you to 20 will not be what gets you to 30. And whatever catalyst you have in 30 will be like the thing that gets you to 40. But like if you still stay stuck at whatever happened at 12 years old, or 16 or 18, whatever, if you stay stuck in that space right there, then your life was really about nothing. It stopped right there. And then you just survived the rest of it till the end. And that's not what we're put here for. You know, we have to become the greatest version of ourselves despite all of the crap that is dealt to us in life, because life happens to everybody. Nobody gets out of here, number one, alive. No one gets out of here unscathed, without trauma, without hurt, without disappointment and failure. So how do you process it?
Right. And the cool thing that I have that nobody else in this building has is the experience of kind of going through that with you.
You were raised there.
Yeah, as a child. And, you know, my memories are obviously nowhere near the same as yours. But looking back, reflecting on things and be like, oh, that's what that was. But even how it affects a future generation like mine and, you know, leaving it as opposed to staying in it and what that would have done is really, really big too.
Well, not only that, like there's things I look back on now and I go, like, I lived it and it was normal for me, but then I go back and look at it and go, okay, that wasn't normal that anybody should have gone through that. But I didn't look back on it until probably like in my 50s and go, that's fucked up. What the hell was that? Why? Who thought that was normal?
Right.
And then I didn't even evaluate that it was fucked up until that point in my life and go back and look at it and go, I think about Kaylee Jewett, right? And I think about, what is she, 14 right now? Mm-hmm. So I think about a year from now when Kaylee's 15, the things that I went through at 15 and go, let's look at Kaylee. This is what a 15-year-old looks like. This is what a 14-year-old looks like. What, is that okay that this happened to that person? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, whenever you think about it like that and go, times weren't that different. So
no. Well, and I think about like, so not to get like too granular on what this cult was like, but the pastor, priest, prophet that he called himself had this group of ladies that were all his girlfriends, but yet you couldn't make a decision about buying a house or having a baby or getting married without getting his approval. And yet
this episode is brought to you by SCP Agency, your one-stop shop for organic social media. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or visit scpagency.com.
So you had to get his blessing on it.
Yes, sorry, blessing. But yet he had this huge group of women that just followed him everywhere. I mean, that can't be biblical, right?
And on top of that, I was related to most of them. Like my cousin Cheryl was one of the ladies. My Aunt Jerry was one of the ladies. My ex-stepmom Kathy was one of the ladies. I can go down the list of all the people that used to be related to me that now sat in the concubine of the prophet's women.
That is unfathomable to like in now today's day and age. Like,
and not stupid. They were educated people. Like Kathy was a bookkeeper. Like she was an accountant at the bank. Like she was a controller at the bank. Like these are people that had careers that, I mean, they weren't like some stupid bimbos somewhere. No. They all had careers that they all gave up to go work for him so that he could have control over their time off and stuff. Is stupid.
The fact that so the title from cult member to CEO is that being raised into that, raising your family into that, and then finally getting a chance to get away, not just getting away, but surviving that and all of the breakage that came with it, like all of the family ties that had to be broken to get away from that. Mm-hmm. And that's a thing that a lot of people don't address in this industry too, is when you have to make cuts, sometimes it's your own flesh and blood you have to cut off for the betterment of yourself.
I mean, I probably taught you that your whole life, like slice and dice, baby. Like the minute that they no longer do anything but pull you backwards, cut that off. Just because you share DNA does not mean that you have to be influenced by these people.
Yeah. So
slice it off and just be done with it and move forward with the people that will feed you and nurture the person you're going to become.
Well, and that's something that I've shared with friends too, is if they don't share, or even if they do share your DNA, if this is not somebody you would have in your child's life, if they were not related to you, is this a relationship you continue? And if the answer is no, the answer is no.
Yeah. If you weren't related to them, would you let them watch your kid?
Exactly.
Then quit giving your kids to them.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. There's a lot to unpack there. Like, you know, there's probably 10,000 more things that we won't unpack at this conference because we want to stay on theme for like really just taking control of who you are. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I can't remember who I was talking to, and they were 28 years old. I remember who it was, and she was telling me about her trauma of her parents and her drug addicted parents and alcoholic parents, and then them leaving her at an orphanage in the Ukraine. And then she got adopted by a U.S. couple. And like, she goes through this whole thing and she goes, so I'm still like just kind of messed up from this. And I'm like, why, you're 28. I'm like, they're only responsible for screwing you up for 18 years. And then you have to at some point be strong enough mentally to go, and not everybody is, to go, I need to take control of what my life turns out to be. I can't just keep coming back to this is the excuse for why I am the way I am. You've had 10 years now. How much progress have you made past that? And she said, I've been sober for 12 months. And for 12 months, I've been going to therapy and I've been sober. And so for the last 12 months, I've been working on myself. And I'm like, I'm so proud of you for that.
That's such a huge move, too.
Yeah. We're podcasting.
It's okay. This is what happens at events. You know, sometimes we just talk to people passing by. We did an episode last year, and it's one that I just reshared, bringing it back to WIA and the whole event and everything that's happening here. Is we were in the middle of interviewing Bobby here, which we just had our tribute to her this morning. But we were doing an episode with her, and we just kept noticing all of these people lining up behind the computer that were watching us. They're all like absolutely amazing people that at one point we ended up just flipping the whole computer around, kneeling on the ground and just finalizing this episode with all of these amazing people. It was the end of the conference, and it was just the vibes. And last year it was so raw and vulnerable. Were the two words that got used the most about the conference.
A lot.
And this one, we're just at the very beginning of it. We've had one keynote, one set of breakout sessions, plus Bobby's tribute. But we keep coming back. Like we've been doing this since
2015.
No, I think it was 2018 or 17. I think 17, because that was the year I met Subi in the elevator.
Oh, that's right.
Met Subi in an elevator, and then everything changed. Literally, everything changed. What's the one thing that keeps you coming back and being a part of this?
Really just, I feel like, and it's probably just a level of arrogance or narcissism, I'm not sure which, that I've got something to contribute. So I always tell Shasta, I tell everybody, like, if one person...
You've made it this far, and I have to say thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to rate the show, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and of course on all social media channels. Light it up.
Is affected by something that I say, then it's all worth it. No matter how many thousands of dollars you spend to come to a conference, to get here, to give up your time with your business, whatever, if one person can be changed on the other side of that by anything that I say, then it has been way worth it for me. And so that's the only reason why. Like we're put here, you feel like you're supposed to be somewhere and that you have a message to give, and you don't know who's there to receive it. You don't know. Like if you knew how many people, Shasta, have already come up to me and went, I was raised in a cult too. Oh my God, I can't wait for this. I can't wait to elevate because this da-da-da-da-da. And like someone yesterday told me, said, I haven't even spoken to my dad since 2009 because he won't speak to me because I'm not in the cult anymore. I'm like, feel it. I feel it. I know it, because you have to be willing to be erased from history if you want to get out, which means everybody you grew up with. And I was in there from the time I was 12. So everybody I grew up with, all my best friends, all my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my dad, everybody that I knew my whole life, I had to go, okay, I've got to get out, and I have to know, and I know that whenever I get out, me and my kids will be my only lineage from here on. It'll be from me down. The rest of them don't exist. And then for a while, like I felt it, like I felt the loss of it. And then I made a decision. And the decision was, this is my choice, not theirs. They will never have access to me again. They will never have access to my people again.
And and
they think it's their idea. Now it's mine. And I even, I did, like when I bought my Range Rover. So I bought a Range Rover, never driven one in my life. And you know why I bought it?
I honestly don't, actually.
I bought it because nobody in my family had ever driven a Range Rover. Like they had had a Cadillac, they'd had a Lincoln, they'd had this, they'd had that, but nobody had ever had that. Any of the family that I left had ever had that. And it was just like another level of, you said I wouldn't be anything. You said I would die of cancer and poverty. You said these things about me. And so I bought a Range Rover.
In spite of them.
In spite of them.
Love that. When when you make those cuts, they have to be that deep and that solid. Like, you can never re-tether in the same way a cut ribbon, and that's how that cut has to be. And
that's profound.
Yeah. And that gave me the confidence to make cuts with certain family members that most people wouldn't have. And mine may not have been related to the cult, but the negative people in my life, being raised around someone who was able to do that gave me that level of confidence and assurance that when I made that cut, everything was going to be okay.
Yep.
And that it's not always my job to continue a relationship.
No, and not only that, if it's unhealthy, recognize that it's unhealthy, and then go, if I keep going back to that, I realize that I'm making the choice now to be in an unhealthy relationship, because I always have the choice to not be there.
Exactly.
Like you can't go, oh, he's my dad, or oh, he's my brother, or oh, it's my mom. You always have the choice, and you get one shot at the spinning rock we call Earth and life. You get one shot at it. If losing Bobby didn't draw that out to everybody and go, you get one shot at it. Live your life on your terms, unapologetically. And for the people that no longer serve you, we call them crabs in a bucket, right? The minute you start doing well, they start dragging you back down the bucket. The minute one crab tries to get out of that bucket, the others will always drag him back in. And so if you have someone that's a crab in the bucket, distance yourself first. See how that feels. Distance yourself first. And if it still keeps coming back and giving you that ick, then just go, I'm sorry, this is no longer healthy for me. And then just cut that off. And it's okay. And then move forward and establish relationships with boundaries that serve you.
Because nobody else is going to put you first like you do.
That's right.
That is your number one job, is me first, then others. That's why on an airplane they say, please secure your own mask before assisting others. You come first.
Yes. Save yourself first.
I'm ready for Wednesday. I'm ready to hear it all, even though I've probably heard most of it, but hearing it in a different light, seeing the way that it impacts people is always fun too.
I'm ready to. I've been very reluctant to tell the story because, if you're a woman in the automotive space, being vulnerable is not something that you are told to do or that you are advised to do. You're supposed to just be this hard-ass person, just business, just these things right here. But you want to know what? The thing is what got me to here. Why is Robin such a direct, communicative asshole? Why is she that person? What are the things that she's overcome in her life to get to here? And then you have to just go, oh, I don't ever want to be that. Okay, then sit in your pee pants. Sit in your pee pants and don't overcome it. And then just keep going back to the victim. Keep going back to the victimizer or the victimizers, whoever it is, the people in your life, or the tragedy that those people may even be dead now and you're still living in that trauma. It's just, it's unhealthy. And you've got things to create and people to impact, so you really should be doing that thing.
For sure. What's the one message you want to leave everybody with?
Eat lunch before you come to a conference. I'm hungry.
we got people back here
I'm hungry, baby.
All right, well, until next time, guys. Peace out.
Peace out.